Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 113. I'm your host, Rico, here with my co-host,
Mr. Dayne Cody.
Mr. Dayne Cody and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. And most often it being video games, because we love them. Usually we start the show with some what you been playing, get into some news, some public service announcements, and our free-for-all. No questions this week, because I'm really bad. Well, actually, I've had some odd questions I could dig up. But I forgot to ask for general questions for the show.
Fair enough.
But even before we get to any of that, we usually shoot the shit and or, more importantly, get into our designated drinking section. Because you can't be a geekaholic without being an alcoholic. Dayne.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Dude, it's been an absinthe day.
Absinthe. Oh, yeah, your long work days and you're tired.
Oh, yeah.
So pardon Dayne if he sounds quiet or low energy.
What are you talking about? I got my absinthe, man.
Okay, you're powered up.
Yeah. I brought my A-game, literally.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I know. Some Taboo absinthe. Little local. It's delicious.
Nice.
A little bit of water just to bring out the extra flavors, and heck yeah.
I'm drinking the Rico special. My custom drink, the classic Bombberry.
Nice.
It is nice. I really like it.
For anybody who doesn't know what is that, Rick?
Oh yeah, my Bombay Sapphire and Wild Berry juice.
Nice.
AKA the Bombberry. Baby.
Word.
Did I mentioned last week that I was feeling a little giddy, right? At the end of the show?
I don't know.
Or maybe I just said that to you.
Maybe.
Because last week I was pouring the Crown Royal and I had like maybe 3 drinks during the show.
Yeah, no, you definitely mentioned that on the show. I remember this now.
I couldn't remember because I was feeling really happy at the end of that. Yep. Unfortunately, I don't have refills. Well, I guess I could start drinking straight Crown after this.
There you go. Be a man. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Be a champion.
There you go.
Because you know what's up, Dayne.
Stuff.
It's winner. Chicken dinner.
I heard.
Yeah.
About time. Jeez, took you long enough.
So, if you guys have no idea what the F I'm talking about, we're obviously in our What You've Been Playing section. And if you just tuned in, you may not know, but I have been playing PLAYERUNKNOW'S Battlegrounds on PC. PUBG. For the past couple of weeks. And I have been the elusive chicken dinner. I have not been able to.
Which is what you win when you become number 1.
Yeah, when you
the
win
last
the game.
Man standing.
So actually, my brother... Did I say my brother-in-law bought the game?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Did I talk about us playing it or no? I can't remember.
You had said that he picked it up and you were going to try playing some team stuff.
Yes, yeah.
But you hadn't yet.
Okay, yeah. We started playing some duos. And actually, we had 2 third-place finishes.
Oh, wow.
In 2 of our first 3 games.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's quite a different game with 2 players.
I could see that.
I could imagine even with a squad even.
Yeah, like you got more things to think about in a lot of ways.
You also have a spotter, which is real great. Because when one guy goes around a building and starts getting shot, they may not know that you're there. So you can go around and flank enemies.
Right.
Which makes it really fun. I'm just going to rewind a little bit, though, because who knows, we might have new listeners today. PUBG, PLAYERUNKNOW'S Battlegrounds, if you did not know, is a battle royale type game. 100 players parachute in to a map, and it's a free-for-all, randomly spawning weapons and vehicles. First-person shooter. And third person. You can switch back and forth. Primarily, I've been playing solo, but yeah, like I was just saying, my brother, you can play duos, and you can also play in squads, I think up to 5. I think
sounds right. 4 or 5, something like that.
I haven't played a squad yet because I've only been able to convince him, but I think more people hearing me talk about it are like, that game sounds really fun. It is also probably still the top-selling game on Steam. I think they cracked
they
4
recently
million
announced
copies.
Exactly. They announced they sold over 4 million copies
since March when the game
which
went on
is
sale.
Crazy.
And it's it's an early access game, so it's got quite a bit of jank still. You know, a little bit of lag when you go to open up a door or pick up a weapon. I assume stuff that's going to get ironed out over time and get smoother. But yeah, so when you win, last man standing, you get your chicken dinner.
Right.
So, when was it? Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday night. I've been playing for a couple hours. Had a couple more top 10 finishes. I've actually had it. You can go to your stats.
Okay.
I don't have the
See how many, like how low or how many.
Yeah, like there's a leaderboard. It has your wins, your kill streaks, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I was as high as 12,000th on the leaderboard.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. So
that's pretty solid out of as many people are playing it.
I've had a decent amount of top 10 finishes. But yeah, on Sunday, I was actually having a bunch of really bad games. And I was getting really pissed off. Because this game can be really exhilarating or like really like rage-inducing.
Incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, because you can die very quickly. You know, so as you
parachute in and 5 minutes into the match, not even, you're all of a sudden, boom, you're dead.
You parachute in and it's like you see a couple other guys and you're all racing to the same building. Well, there's 3 guys and there's 1 gun on the floor.
Right.
That's not a good time. Well, it's a good time for the guy who has the gun. Not a good time for anyone else. So you could try punching him to death, but usually when someone's got a gun, that doesn't work out too well.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of games where I just was getting shit spawns. I'd go in a building, there'd be like no weapons. I'd have like a melee weapon, and it's like, oh, you got an AK. Well, I'm dead.
Right.
I don't have a weapon. And, you know, that's just bum luck. And it's happened to other guys. Like, I've been in matches where it's like, okay, this guy's clearly trying to run away from me because he doesn't have a gun. And it's just like, pop, 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 shoot him in the back, right? There's no honor in PUBG.
Yeah. If you got the opportunity, man, you got to take it.
It's last man standing. So
yep, exactly.
The game that I won, I don't know what happened, but I dropped in an area and I happened to get a spawn with a lot of... So there's armor.
Right.
There's armor headgear. There's actually armor ballistic mask you can get. You know, like the Army of Two guys wear.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That covers your face. There's only one version.
Does that keep you from getting like headshot, or does it?
Yeah, it saves you from a headshot. I think it can take. I think it can take up to 2 shots. Because you can get headshot quite easily in this game too, which can be really annoying as well. The headgear, you can get like a full like riot helmet with like eye protection and everything. Military bulletproof vest, and so forth. And all this stuff like does like damage reduction, right? So I happened to spawn into a house that had level 3 everything.
Right.
And I had an AK, and I had a sniper rifle, and I had good like mods, like sight mods, because you'll find weapons spawn without any attachments, but most weapons can have several attachments, from extended clips to vertical grips, stocks, and sights, like 2 times, 4 times, 8 times,
right?
Holographic sight, red dot sight, and so forth. But they don't start with those, so you have like plain old iron sight when you find weapons. So I just had a lucky draw. I'm like, sweet, I'm armored up. I got an AK with 4 times zoom, and I had I think I had a scar as well with the red dot. So I was using the AK for ranged and the scar for close quarters. Okay. And then there's nobody around. Like, I don't know what happened. I didn't see anyone for like, I don't know how many times this. So I've talked about this before, but if you've never played this before, basically there's a big giant circle that appears on the map at some point, and you have to make your way towards that circle. Because after a few minutes, this blue energy shield closes in, and if you're caught outside of it, you get damaged. Anyway, I was in the circle, so I didn't really have to deal with that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get a car. Because finding a car, I find every time I have a vehicle and I can get closer to the middle of the map are the games that I always do better.
Right. That makes sense because you can move faster and stuff.
Yeah, and you don't get caught running across a field and someone's like, "Oh, look at that fucker! I'm just gonna snipe his ass."
Right.
So I was like looking for a car. I found one of the Doom buggies, which are pretty cool because from the back, I don't think you can really get shot from the back. You're just more vulnerable from the front.
Okay.
So I'm like cruising around, heading towards the center, and I'm like, I always make like a plan of attack. When I'm going to the center, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop at this building, and then I'm going to stop at this building, and you can put markers on the map.
Okay.
So I'm cruising up the hill, and I'm like, going towards this house. I've played it a few times now, and there's some like areas of the map that I'm like, okay, I know this building, I know this little area is actually starting to get familiar. So it's like, oh, I like this place because this house has like a good a second story that has good visibility sight lines for, pegging guys off from a distance, right?
Yeah.
An advantage of playing a few times. So
I imagine that as you play more, that would probably get better because you would learn the map better, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm. So I'm pulling up to this house and I notice there's a Jeep there. Well, there's never vehicles there. Vehicles don't spawn there, I don't think. I've never seen one before, and it was like into the side of the house. And the door was open. I'm like, okay, so someone's in that house. And you can hear cars, so he knows I've pulled up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I stop my vehicle. I get out, and I'm like hunkered down behind my vehicle. I do a quick glance around me, and let's just say there's two houses next to each other. A 2-story house and a 1-story house. And I parked my vehicle in the middle of the two. Not like in the middle of both buildings, but, away from them, but it would be in the middle line-wise. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I can see the open door, and I'm like, oh, I just saw some movement. He was trying to, hunker down near the door to line me up. He didn't think I saw him, so I saw him, and I'm like, screw this. So I ran around the left side of my vehicle towards the front corner of this 2-story house. So say if I was looking at both buildings, I'm running left around my Jeep towards the building. So he can't shoot me. He didn't come out. He's staying in the building. And then he's there's a window there, like a narrow window, and it happens to be the bathroom. And I just hear this, he's just unloading his Uzi. And I'm like, I just run towards the front door because I'm like, he's reloading now. And he's just sitting in the hallway, just standing there. And I'm just like, AK, you're done. Thank you very much. He did clip me once. So I'm like, okay, I used a Band-Aid and then I used an energy drink to heal up.
Right.
And it's like, I scoured his loot. I think I took some ammo from him, but I was loaded up. He didn't have anything that was better than what I had. So I just I think I might have gotten some painkillers and some ammo from him. I'm like, okay, I'm going to move on. I hear another vehicle. I'm like, the circle's closing again. I'm like, okay, I got to go to my next spot because it's continually pushing you forward, right?
Yep.
You can try to camp, but it's annoying. It's boring. I don't like camping. I want to get into fights.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you want action, right?
Yeah.
There's no point in doing the chicken dinner if all you did was kill one dude at the very end to get your chicken dinner, or maybe you didn't even kill anybody,
and some
because you didn't have to, right? Because you managed to do it, right?
If you're in a duo, I think you can get away with not killing anyone. Say if your teammate killed people. So I'm like, okay, I'm jumping back in my Jeep.
Right.
I drive around the building, hang a right. I'm essentially, driving through its backyard now, and it's down a big hill embankment. And I'm like, hey, there's a guy there. He's facing the wrong way. Thunk, thunk. My first vehicle kill. All right. That felt good. Just mowed him down. Insta-kill. 2 down. At this point, I'm like, okay, this circle's getting pretty small. I know it's going to end in this area. I don't know if the circles are random or if they actually happen to end in certain areas. But
I was under the impression that they were random and they essentially happened every time randomly? Like,
so they're not.
I'm sure some sort of algorithm, but
I had a match that when me and my brother-in-law were playing ended in this same area.
Oh, okay.
Which was near a beach.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go head towards these houses. Because last time we got screwed because we were on the beach with no cover. And that's when we came in third place. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to be not on the beach side, but the road side. And there's some houses there. And there's a bunch of vehicles. I'm hearing gunshots as I pull up. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm probably going to get killed from somewhere. I don't know where. And again, it's like two buildings, no, this one was like a row of three buildings, not exactly a row, but just scattered out, single story, 2-story, single story, and then like a shed, say like 50 feet away in the field. So I basically run my vehicle into the first building, jump out, hunker down. I hear gunshots. The blue energy shield is coming from behind me. And at this point of the game, if you're caught in it, you're dying very quickly. So I'm just doing...
Right, like it's because as the match goes on...
it does more damage.
Like, it does more and more damage.
Yeah, early on, you can run in it for a really long time. It's not good, but, if you have no choice, you can run in the blue and make it to the white circle, the inner circle zone. And, you might take a quarter of your life damage, but you're still in it, right?
Right.
You can't do this at this point of the game. So I got my back to the building. And I'm just not worried about the building right now because I could see when I was pulling up, there was no one outside the building on either side, like the front or the back of it. So I wasn't going to get flanked. And you can't shoot through walls. So, okay, I've got some protection. And I'm looking at the energy shield. Okay, no one's running in. I see a car zoom by. He would be with my back to the building. He would be on my left now. He's across the street, probably 200 feet away. So I don't think he saw me. And he just zoomed by and was heading towards another little shed that was like across the street.
Right.
A decent ways away. And it's okay. I'm not worried about him because I don't think he can see me and I got cover from him. So I jump in this building. It's empty. There's like no loot in it. It's clearly been cleared out. This is the single story building, the first in the row. So I move to the second story. I hear some gunfire, and I'm like, you know what? Screw these guys. I'm just going to go to the next building.
Take your chances over one over.
I go to the next building. I would say the third building. It's like a rancher, single story. But you know how the front doorway, like, of the house, like, sticks out a bit? So it kind of makes like the T. This house, I say, would be the shape of the T block in Tetris.
Okay, yeah.
And the front door is that skinny hallway in the front of the house, right?
Right.
So I run past the doorway and I kind of tuck into that corner there. And the blue circle's starting to close now. So the guys in the second story house, they're fucked. Regardless if they come out right now, they're probably going to die. So I'm not worried about them. But then the blue shield stops halfway. Like just short of the front door of this small house. And then I hear footprints and I'm like, oh God, there's someone in there. So I'm like, okay, I turn towards the front door, but I'm in the corner, right? Like an L, the L of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hear the guy slowly walking out. And I'm like, okay, he's coming out the front door. He knows I'm here because he heard me run out. And it was just like, he comes around the corner and it's just like, done. Okay, kill number 3.
Nice.
Like, okay, this is going good. I think we're down to 3 people now at this point, and my heart's just racing. This is the one thing this game does, unlike any other game, because the stakes are so high. Not really. I don't know. It just it creates this weird thing. Your heart starts pumping. It's like, oh, it's so exciting because it's like, I don't know what it is. It just gets adrenaline pumping. No other game does this. That's why
makes sense. It's you versus 100 people. I mean, it's like, does it show you how many people are left at any given time?
Yeah, it's always showing you in the top corner, and you see how people die in the bottom left. Like what's his nuts headshotted, blah blah blah, with an AK, or this guy got shot, and this guy, and it's always ticking down, right, as people die. So you can see it's like 3 left, and it's like red, and I'm like, oh shit, man, this is the end. So now I'm almost in line with that shed that first guy in the car drove by. So I knew he was over there. And I'm like, well, fuck, I can't see him because there was kind of like an embankment in front of this house. So just enough that if I was crouched, I was like out of line of sight for them, but I could see the shed clearly.
Okay.
But they probably couldn't shoot me because I was below the little, the little hump of the road, right?
Right.
Natural, like, little embankment in front of this house. And I'm like, okay, like, well, circle's going to be closing here soon. Oh, there's a shed over there. I'm going to go to the shed. And I'm like, okay, this is the make it or break it. I'm going to get fucking shot in the back or, I'm going to be fine. So I run towards the shed and then I just hear gunfire. And you can, if you hold down the Alt key, because I'm playing this on PC, you can swing your camera while moving. Like it,
right.
So I'm running towards the shed and I swing the camera to look to my right. And I see the guy from the shed basically engaged with a gunfight with another guy who pulled in with using his car as cover. And I just hear explosions, like someone threw a grenade, and I'm like, okay, they don't even see me. I'm like, this is sweet. So I get in the house, close the door. I don't know what the range is on sound effects. Like, I don't know how far you can hear a door opening and closing.
Oh, okay.
So they might not have heard the door close. Because now it's like, boom, we're down to 2. I'm like, okay, I'm top 2. That guy killed that guy. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to chill in this house. And I'm third person, so you kind of can manipulate the camera and see outside of the house while you're in the house. Not perfectly, but enough to give you some visibility. Right. And it's like, oh yeah, there he is. It's trench coat, car driving guy. He's running towards the shed. Because the circle essentially is now almost on the shed.
Right.
It's like, this is go time. This is toe to toe. So he runs up behind the shed. And I use the camera to see which way he's looking. So the shed's like a small little rectangle. There's one door. Okay. There's one door. And then there's, say, the back side of the shed. So he's on the back side of the shed. Looking, map-wise, I'd say he'd be looking south.
Okay.
So I kick open the door, run north around the shed, and come up behind him and just unload on him. I just hold the trigger down. He doesn't even turn.
Oh.
Like, because he was ready thinking I was coming towards... He was prepping for me coming the other way.
Oh,
because there was some shit piled up behind the shed, and I guess he figured his back was covered.
Right.
But he never actually saw me go in the shed, so I don't think he was really... Like, when he heard the door open, I'm sure he's like, okay, he's fucking coming. But he essentially had a 50-50 chance. But his camera, when you're outside of a building, you can't really manipulate your camera to see inside of a building. Whereas I kind of could have, so I could see that he was facing the other way. So I kind of knew to run around that way.
Right.
And it was just like, hey, please lag, don't kill me. And then boom, I won.
So it was chicken dinner.
It was exhilarating. I told my wife, and she's like, you can quit playing that stupid game now, right? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I keep wanting to play it. And I've had a couple more top 10 finishes, but God, I've had some really terrible fucking finishes lately, and I'm like, just want to scream.
Yeah, that's that. What you just described sounds like when I used to play Counter-Strike.
Well, yeah, and it's
you go on a run and you just like kill it and you do amazing and you're like, yeah, this is awesome. And then other times you'd log in and you just like didn't even know why you were bothering because it just no map seemed to like you could do nothing right. It was brutal.
Yeah, the couple games I've had, I haven't had very many good games since that game.
Oh, really?
It's just like, what's going on? And I have noticed in a couple games, I've been in a couple games with some cheaters, which is really...
Oh, really?
Well, it being a PC game, obviously, there's going to be freaking cheaters.
Yeah. Well, not just PC games. I mean...
Yeah, but...
I hear about lots of cheaters on various other platforms,
because I was playing a game where I was driving a Jeep in a field, no buildings, and I swear... The closest place someone could have shot me from was like 300 or 400 meters away.
Wow.
And it's like, I'm just driving along, and I was dead. One shot, headshot.
Wow.
I'm like, no fucking way. No fucking
That's
way
crazy.
no fucking way someone headshotted me while I was driving the Jeep. And I don't drive the Jeep in a straight line. I'm always like going left and right, left and right, left and right, because to just not to give anyone an opportunity to shoot me. So I was like, and then I started reading on Reddit and stuff about people talking about how they'd see like guys land and like kill 4 people like instantly.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if they've like shut those down recently because those were dated a little while ago, those threads I was reading.
Right.
They're talking about, I imagine there's going to be ban waves eventually. I haven't noticed it months. I just noticed it in a couple games where I was like, okay, that guy knew I was there and he didn't see me go in there. There's no way he saw me. So there's been a couple suspect ones, but man, it's a fun game. It's a good game. Gets the blood pumping.
I hate that about like online PC game. Like, I mean, just any game really online, but good Lord, it pisses me off.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Like, what do you get out of that? Like, you're ridiculous. I don't know. If you look at the freaking leaderboards, I look at the kill death ratios for like the guys that are like in the top 3.
Yeah.
That's no way. No way. They have a kill death ratio of like 6. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? When you're like playing against 100 different people?
Yeah, that's hard because like
you could have a good game, but to consistently have that high of a kill death ratio, that just seems impossible because that means you're getting 6 kills every game all the time. I think I've had 1 6-kill game. And I didn't even win. And I didn't even win that game.
I used to have a good friend of mine who used to play Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
And the things that guy used to do, though, it just... And I knew that it was him because I would be in the room watching him play in real life. And, like, the shit that he used to do, that people, like, he used to get kicked out of games all the time.
Yeah, we used to. It's true. I can believe that. Some people are that good. I guess in my heyday, when we used to play Counter-Strike, you used to get accused of cheating, and we never cheated.
Like, yeah, like, it's crazy, man. Like, I saw him one time eat ramen with one hand. You know, he had the ramen sitting in front of him while he was eating, and all he had was his mouse. And this was Counter-Strike, what was it, 1.6? And he had the shield up with a pistol. And he wiped the entire other team because they all tried to take him on. And with one hand, he was just sitting in a corner, and he ended up taking out the entire other team. He won, and he was just eating. He was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit back at my base and eat while, and stuff like that. And you just and this guy wasn't playing on like crappy servers either, like, so it wasn't just like, oh well, he just got a bad server. Like the servers that he used to play on were crazy servers.
It's true.
Like
Some
played
people
with professional gamers, right?
Some people do have a lot of time in their hands and get pretty freaking good.
So
anyway, if you end up picking up that game, hit me up on Twitter. If you want to add me on Steam, I will be more than happy to play with any one of you guys. Because I would like to try it in squad. That would be fun. The duos is fun. And honestly, playing duos for how many games we played? Like, I think we played 4 games, and 3 of them were top 10 finishes. 2 of them were like 3rd place.
Oh wow!
So it goes miles, like having someone else with you,
right?
And you can revive each other too, eh?
That's nice. That's super useful then. Yeah,
you get downed. Obviously, they can hit you. I think it's another 1 or 2. I don't know what the rules are for downing a teammate, but when you're crawling around, I think it takes a couple extra shots to kill a guy. But if they don't kill the person, you can go over and like revive them, and then they'll have like a sliver of health or a quarter of health or something, which is pretty awesome.
Very nice.
But yeah, that's it. My PUBG adventure and my yummy chicken dinner. It wasn't Chick-fil-A.
Roast chicken? Was it barbecue chicken?
Yeah, it was just roasted chicken, like the kind you get at Costco.
Oh, well, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was hungry.
No barbecue
it's quick,
chicken,
right?
That's for sure.
It's convenient. It would have been sweet if it was Chick-fil-A. Oh, God. Did I say how much I love Chick-fil-A when I was down in LA?
You did.
Oh, I ate there twice. Man, that place is awesome. Do they have one in Seattle?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think they do either. I don't think they've come up this far north.
No, I don't think they have.
Boo.
So
If they did, I'd make us go out of the way when we go to PAX.
I know, right? That would be pretty sweet.
I see you played a couple things here.
Yeah, man. I got a little bit of time. I played a few things, a few different things, I should say. I played a few rounds of Smite and a few rounds of Heroes of the Storm.
Nice.
But the majority of my time actually, obviously the Steam sale is ongoing. I've been really good.
We talked about it last week, right?
We did, yeah.
Okay, tell everyone that the Steam sale's going on. I haven't bought anything.
See, I've been really good. I only bought one game because it was one of the games that was on my list that I had been sort of holding off for a sale. And I picked up Berserk, Band of the Hawk, which is the new Berserk game that came out earlier this year.
Oh, it is a new game, eh?
Yeah, that one was new.
I wasn't sure. How much on PC, or did you get it on PS4?
I was planning on getting it on PS4, and then
the Steam sale
seeing
happened.
as how much my wife has been enjoying my PS4, playing Stardew Valley and other things, to be fair, I haven't really had a ton of time to play my PS4. And then, of course, the Steam sale came along, and I was like, well, I could save a bunch of money and get it for more than half off. So I did that.
I'm watching a trailer for it right now.
Word of the wise, if you are going to play it on PC, know that the developers were super fucking lazy. And if you're not going to play it with a controller, you may as well not buy it. Which is fine. I have an Xbox One controller plugged into my PC, which is fine. But a lot of times I like to play those games, or those types of games, kind of that third-person action game, with a mouse and keyboard. That game is terrible. So I started playing it initially with just a mouse and keyboard, and I got into it.
Yeah, that game's terrible with a mouse and keyboard.
You would think that, for example, you could hit escape and have the menu pull up so that you could do things like change settings or exit the game. Nope. There was not a single button on the keyboard that would bring up the pause menu so that you could do anything. Nope. If you have a controller plugged in, you can hit the equivalent to a start button on an Xbox, whatever it is. On the Xbox One controller, it's the little 3 buttons. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's the one with the 3 lines on it on the right-hand side in the middle.
I think it's the menu.
If you hit that, it brings up the pause menu, and you can do that, and that's fine. But if you don't have a controller hooked up, there's no way to do it. So whoever ported that to PC, they were fucking lazy assholes.
Yeah, I don't think Japanese devs are really good at PC ports.
Well, some might be and some might not be, but all I know is that these ones were not. Which is, like I said, it's fine. I play it like I was, planning on playing it with a controller anyways. But I was just kind of mainly curious about like how it would play with a mouse and keyboard, because I thought that might work out really well. Boy, was I wrong. It runs fine. Another thing that I found interesting is that as soon as you launch it, it asks you to launch. Like, I'm running Windows 10. The operating system's been out for well over a year. We're going on almost 2 now at this point. That game wants to launch in Windows 7 compatibility mode.
What?
Yeah. So, a couple little knocks against it right off the bat, which I was like, oh boy, this might be a really rough PC port. Turns out the game runs fine. On my system anyways, like, I'm running most things on medium or high, full resolution, so 1920 by 1200. And it runs fine. I don't think I've ever seen it really drop below like 50 frames a second or whatever. Some dips once you get.
I'm watching this clip right now, and there's like literally 100 plus enemies on the screen.
I was just gonna say there are situations where you do see the frame rate drop a bit because there's just so many dudes on the screen. It is crazy how many guys will end up on screen. If you played a Dynasty Warriors game, it's very much similar to that.
Yeah,
tons
it
and
looks
tons
like
of dudes.
the Hyrule Warriors or even the new Fire Emblem Warriors game. It's the same company, right?
It's a Muso game. Yeah, it's the same company that made those.
What
that
does
being
Muso
said,
mean?
I thought it was the studio that made those. I don't know. Or maybe the director? I just know that they're referenced as a Muso game.
Yeah, that's what everyone calls them.
I know.
Yeah, Berserk.
That being said, like, it follows the story. It starts with the Band of the Hawk arc, and it actually goes into several other ones afterwards. So there's quite a bit of Berserk story from the manga and stuff there, which is really cool. If you're a fan of Berserk, I feel like it's one of those things where if you're not a fan of Berserk, you're probably not going to really appreciate the game or really care for it much because it's kind of seems like a bit of a Dynasty Warriors clone. But if you are a fan of Berserk, I think it's rad to play through and you feel like freaking guts because he's a badass that wields that sword. And there's kind of a level up system. You gain experience points and things like that, so you can level up your character. And there's equipment that you get for fighting guys, and so there's a bit of RPG elements to it because everybody does that now. So yeah, I mean, I am a huge fan of that, of the manga, of the animes, of that universe. And they add a lot of scenes. There's a ton of cutscenes, which I super appreciate. It's great because it is like you're playing the anime or any of the they've cut up bits from the movies, the older anime, because there was an anime back in '98 that they did. That was the first one. And as well as there's even some stuff from the newer animes that they did last year and this year as well. So they've cut up a bunch of the cutscenes and put in story stuff from them. It's all subtitled in English, original Japanese voice. I didn't check to see if there was a English dub because I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, like as a Berserk fan, I'm really liking it. It's not a game that I want to like sit down and play like 12 hours of, but it's a blast to like sit down, play a few battles, like destroy like 500 or 1,200 dudes or whatever because it's a freaking that type of game.
Yeah. So this is the definition of Muso.
Yeah.
Well, the first one I could find. Muso franchise, also referred to as the Warriors franchise, is a series of large-scale beat-em-ups, primarily developed by Koei Tecmo's studio Omega Force.
Yeah.
Common threads include the ability to play scenarios from multiple sides and fighting off hundreds, if not thousands, of enemies in a single battle. The Muso franchise name mostly commonly relates to its core series Dynasty Warriors, but also encompasses Samurai Warriors and a number of other series. Where, these guys have expanded. Like I said, Hyrule Warriors, now Berserk.
Yep. They did a Gundam one for the Xbox 360 back in the day.
And then there's even the Fire Emblem game I played at E3. Fire Emblem Warriors is a Muso game.
Also, Dragon Quest Heroes is a Muso game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So like I said, it's again, like if you're not a fan of Berserk, I really wouldn't recommend this game. I think that there's probably better Muso games out there.
And also, if you've probably played a freaking Dynasty Warriors games and you don't like that type of game,
exactly, that's definitely not for you. But like I said, as a huge fan of Berserk, it's fun. It's just kind of that mindless popcorn game. You go in, you hack a bunch of dudes, you watch a bunch of story, and it is that.
How much was it?
I think it was like 66% off, so I think it was like $30.
No, that's not bad.
Something like that.
And
yeah, that's kind of why I did it
this year, right?
Yeah, it was earlier this year. So, which like for full price, I kind of knew what it was, but I was super interested because it is a Berserk game, and the last Berserk game that got released in North America came out on Dreamcast. So,
dude, Shadow
it had been a while. You know, it had been a while.
I'm looking on the Steam store, and it's like Shadow of Mordor is $6.
Wow.
Yeah. I think
that's
it's
a deal.
I think it's like $6 everywhere right now, like on PlayStation and Xbox. That's a really awesome game.
That's an awesome game. That's probably the best $6 you'd ever spend.
Yeah, and it's the Game of the Year edition, so you get all the DLC. It's probably cheaper to just rebuy that version of the game than it is to buy the DLC if you already own it.
Oh, I pretty much guarantee you it is. That's crazy.
That is funny.
And awesome. So I played that. I played a whole bunch of that on Saturday morning. Actually, strangely enough, I was playing that while I was waiting for the next game that I played to download, actually. Well, finish updating. So a few years ago, Funcom, the guys who did Anarchy Online and the new, Dark Age of Conan and a few other games, MMOs, they made a game called The Secret World. Back when this launched, it was super interesting to me, especially pre-launch. Part of the lead up to it was super cool, the way that they had done it, like their marketing campaign for it. And then just kind of the idea behind the game was super interesting to me. It was a massively multiplayer online RPG, but instead of sort of, warriors and wonders and fantasy or sci-fi, they were kind of coming at it from a different angle. Their whole idea was they were coming at it from like a secret society. Things that go bump in the night are real, but not quite as cliche as a lot of the other types of games that have maybe tried that have done. It was a much more Lovecraftian type game, with the idea being that there was 3 factions: the Illuminati, the Dragon, and the Templar, all vying for various powers around the world, while at the same time the apocalypse was more or less happening via various dark and horrible things coming out of dark and horrible places. And it was kind of up to you to figure out how to stop it, and if you could stop it, all the while having your secret society in the shadows sort of pulling strings and not really seeming like it was all that it was supposed to be, which was super cool. Now, it was also a game that tried to do a bunch of really, really unique things. One of them was there was no level up system in the game initially, so there was no player levels. You would get newer and better gear, but you as a player never actually leveled up. So that was one of the things that was really unique. The other thing that was super unique was that at any time you could change and choose your entire skill set and loadout. So if you wanted to run around and kill things with blood magic and a shotgun, you could put skill points and things into those things. And the idea was that
third person or first person?
Third person. And the idea was that as you would still get experience points for doing things, but instead of having like levels, you would unlock skill points at various points in getting experience. Which again, it was one of those things that seemed really unique and funky at the time, but was also kind of clunky and didn't quite work as well as I think they would have hoped.
Oh, it's free to play.
And that's the thing. So this game, instead of going away, because it released several years ago.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah. So the developers looked at it and they went, look, like we can do one of two things here. We can shut this game down because we're starting to get to the point where, obviously our player numbers aren't what we hope they would be. Or we can retool this game and we can modify it. We can change some stuff, kind of pull a little bit of a Destiny on it, if you will. So kind of some of the things that they thought were super cool and super unique that may or may not have worked, they've decided, that doesn't really work, so we're going to bring this back, or we're going to do this with it, and things like that. One other thing that is super unique about the game that is still in there, which I'm super happy about, is they have investigation missions in the game. So like fairly early on, you get an investigation mission near the beginning of the game, and you have to go to various places, and you have to get a bunch of information, and you have to figure out what it is that they've asked you to look into. But it's not quite as simple as just going and looking at these things and, oh, look at that, I found the answer, and then you go up to a computer and you hit E and ta-da, you're done. It actually had a thing where you would go and you would find these clues, but then when you walked up to the computer, a terminal would actually pop up, and you would actually have to type in, like, do this or enter that, or press 1 to open this folder, and then it would be like that. There's a password on that folder, and then you could hit hit 2 for a password hint. So you'd hit 2, and it would give you a hint, and then of course you could either like exit out of that and go try and figure out what that hint was, or so there was this whole other sort of aspect of the game that wasn't just quite kill 20 of those and go do that and then bring that to me. Like, yes, there was a bunch of that, but there was also these really unique quests that seemed like they were indulging in that story and in that world so much deeper. And those are all still there, which is really cool. And I'm happy that they've kept those. But some of the other stuff that they think they tried to do that didn't work out so well, like not having player levels, for example, they've kind of gotten rid of that. They've added player levels now, so now you have a better idea of like where you're at and what levels your enemies are at. Because that was the real challenge before, is you never really knew what, if you were strong enough with the proper gear to attack certain things and be where you were supposed to be. There was a bunch of times in the original game when it came out where I would end up in an area and I would just get worked. And so clearly the gear that I had and the weapons that I had, etc., weren't for that area yet. But of course, because I didn't have a level and because the enemies didn't have a level, I never really knew whether or not that was the case until I initiated a fight. So now they've added player levels, they've added enemy levels and stuff. So now, you level up as you would in any other sort of game.
Looking on the website here. Mm-hmm. So is there like a story mode or campaign that you just play?
Absolutely.
Through?
I'm totally, briefly, the idea is that you are sort of chosen, you gain sort of gifts, and one, depending on the faction that you choose at the beginning, so either Illuminati, Dragon, or Templar, one of their people comes and finds you after you've kind of awoken, if you will, and they say like, hey, we're looking for somebody with your set of skills, come meet me at this place, and you kind of go from there. I've done the Illuminati one, so I've been doing the Illuminati mission, which even at the beginning is very, they don't just say like, meet me here, you have to go to this place, and then you have to figure out sort of what's going on, and you got to talk to a guy who then, it's not quite just cut and dry. You have to go to an area
and voice acting and stuff. Or
yep. There's totally some of that. And I know I did one of the original, back when I first started playing it, one of my first characters was also a Templar, and the beginning of the game was quite different to the beginning of the game as an Illuminati member. So I don't know what the Dragon one's like at the beginning, but they're all very unique, and it's definitely a little more, I guess, interesting than just, welcome to Azeroth, here's a sword, go kill 10 of those things.
What intrigued you to play this game? Just that it had gone free to play recently, and it was just on your radar from before?
Well, yeah, it was on my radar from before. So naturally I got an email saying like, hey, you were one of the people that originally played this back in the day, but maybe haven't played it now. Well, we're relaunching and we're calling it Secret World Legends. Now we're going free to play. So we've changed, obviously, various things. We've added some stuff. We've streamlined a few things.
And now it's awesome.
And to be totally honest, man, like the changes that they've made are really solid.
That's cool. I think that's really neat.
I was impressed. I really was. Like, I was kind of half skeptical, thinking like, oh man, do I really want to play the beginning of that game again? And, so on and so forth. But they've done a really good job. Like, the quality of life changes that they've made. The game did come out quite a while ago, so it's not going to look quite as amazing as some games out there. But I think it still looks good, and I think that the story and just the uniqueness of the universe is super cool, and I'm actually glad to be playing it again. It's a lot of fun. And I'm hoping that this time around, because of the way they've structured it, I'm hoping that I'll probably play longer and get further into the story than I did before. So,
yeah, that's cool. I think it's cool when a game like this finds a new way to reinvent itself as opposed to locking the doors, firing everybody, and going out of business. I think it's awesome that can happen.
And it's just it was such a unique game when it came out. So I like, seeing people try new things and try to push the boundaries of the genre, and to see these guys do that originally, but just have a few things that didn't quite work, to have them be able to make those changes and sort of not necessarily fix it, but make it better in a lot of ways. I think it's super cool. So
you talking about this game just reminds me of something I've been thinking about lately. I kind of want to just start dusting games off my pile of shame and almost like making it a habit to play older games.
Yeah.
Because they announced the new Wolfenstein 2, and I'm like, well, man, I never finished New Order. It's like, I gotta go back and finish that. I almost think I have to do like a pile of shame part of the show where we have to go back and just play something on our pile of shame.
I think it's a great idea.
Because there's always so many new fucking games, but it's like, man, we're leaving so many behind. And if you don't make a conscious effort to go and play them, it's like, when are you going to play them?
Yeah, no, I heard that the new Wolfenstein's coming out, and I'm like you, I played a bunch of that re-release of the last Wolfenstein game. I played a lot of it.
I started it, but then I just didn't get past the intro, and then I never went back.
Yeah, and I'm probably at least halfway through. So I've actually been thinking about putting that back in, or re-downloading it essentially, and putting it back on my PC and making myself finish it. Because I have a terrible habit of that too, is where I start stuff and then I just kind of fall off it. And sometimes it's not necessarily, like, sometimes I just go through phases where I'm interested in playing a type of game. As anybody who listens to the podcast knows, like, I'll go through phases where, I'll play Smite and MOBAs and I won't touch anything else for 2 or 3 weeks. And then I might not play them again for a while. Like, it's just, that's kind of me as a gamer. I tend to go through those types of phases, right?
I've been, like, super addicted to PUBG, and I'm at the end of, like, Persona, and, like, I gotta just finish Persona. It's so hard, though, when you got a game that you're addicted to, like crack cocaine.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I don't know. I've been looking at my massive list of games on my Steam, and and every time there's a Steam sale, it seems like that list slowly grows.
We'll get into it on our public announcements, but yeah, like, there's so many games on sale everywhere right now. It's just like, ugh. I don't even want to look, because I don't even want the temptation of adding more to the pile.
Totally. And like, some of those games, I feel like I've come to the realization I'm probably never going to play. Like, I've got all of the Dragon Age games. All of them. All 3 of them. They're sitting there.
And you haven't beat a single one of them.
I haven't even installed or played one of them. Yet I got them all probably on a Steam sale or an EA Origin sale. I got them all for a really good deal, and I was like, oh, I'll buy all of those and, go get around to playing them sometime.
Yeah.
But like I haven't even finished The Witcher 3. I love that game. It's amazing. And I want to play more of it. It's just, it's just the way I play games.
Video games are a tough medium. They require so much more time and attention than anything else. Like, you can just
I find like sometimes if I'm really tired, I actually want to play less games because they take more mental capacity to play. Whereas like I could sit down and just like watch some TV or watch a movie and I don't have to think about it. It just happens in front of me. I go,
the last couple of nights I've gotten really worked up because I've been playing so bad at PUBG. Before bed, and then I have a hard time sleeping. Because then all I'm doing is dreaming about freaking strategies. Yeah, and it's like my mind is just like busy, and I can't shut it off. And like, God damn it, it's so annoying.
Yep.
Anyway,
I hear that.
With that, my friend, I want to say we're going to move into some news.
Let's talk about some news.
This just in, fresh off the presses. To no one's surprise, Nintendo announces a Super NES Classic.
I kind of hate that this is.
I don't know where that
kind of love that this is a thing because the NES Classic was cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Nintendo. I love my NES back in the day.
Sitting in my top drawer collecting dust.
But for me, like I knew most of the games that were on the NES Classic, I was probably never going to play again, and I probably wouldn't keep it hooked up. It would have been one of those things that I would pull out. Maybe some friends are around. We'd play some of those old games, and I'd put it away, and I'd probably never touch it again. But now that they've announced a bunch of these games that are on the Super Nintendo that they're releasing, the Super NES Classic, or whatever the hell they're going to call it.
Super NES Classic. The SNES Classic.
There are some games on there that I really would like to play through again.
Super Nintendo is considered, in my opinion, to have one of the greatest libraries of classic games.
I do not disagree with you.
It was like the NES is nostalgia, but the Super Nintendo, that's where games really started to take off and add oh man, this is what video games are capable of. So many more features, obviously. Beautiful pixel art that everyone fell in love with.
Well, I was looking through this list. There's 21. Have they said there's only going to be 21, or they've just announced these 21
plus one?
Okay.
One of the games is a bonus game. Star Fox 2.
Right, which never got released.
No, never got released.
Apparently they finished it. They mastered it. It was ready to go out, but for whatever reason, they decided not to release it.
Yeah, they shelved it because the N64 was coming out.
So here I was looking at this list, and some of these games are great games, but I don't necessarily know that I ever need to play them again. Donkey Kong Country, great game. Don't necessarily know if I need to play it. Contra 3, awesome game.
Fantastic game.
Don't necessarily know if I need to play it. Earthbound.
I've never beat Earthbound. See, that's an ancient pile of shame game for me.
Same, but I also know that that's one of those games that is a super great game. I know a lot of people love it. It's just not a game that I'm going to be able to get through. It's just not. It's not going to happen for me. But Secret of Mana?
Secret of Mana is pretty dope.
That's awesome. Kirby Superstar? Also awesome. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, one of my favorite all-time games. And then you add in Super Castlevania 4, and the kicker for me, I think, actually, was Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. That was a game that I always wanted to play.
It's pretty awesome game.
Back when I had my Super Nintendo, couldn't afford it when it was there. And then when it got, down the road when I could afford it, super hard to find and had gone up in price to the point where I was like, fuck that. It's not worth buying for that price. So it's a game that I've always wanted to play, right up my wheelhouse. Heard just amazing things about it, but I've never been able to play it.
Yeah,
So now here is a legal, legit way to play it, which I'm assuming is going to be a great way to play it because, it's Nintendo releasing a Super Nintendo Classic.
There's some cool things about this system.
And yet they've already said, oh yeah, we're only going to be doing this for 2017. So they've essentially already created a horrible speculator market for this thing already. Because everybody looked at what happened with the freaking Nintendo Classic, and everybody's looking at this.
They said already there's going to be more of these. These clearly are in production now. They have, what is it? They killed the NES Classic, basically, I think, to start production on this, I think.
Right.
And it also includes 2 controllers, which is cool. I really like that.
Right. So it's going to be $100 in Canada. Comes out September 29th. I have not yet seen any pre-orders that are going up.
Not in Canada. There's landing pages on US sites like Amazon and Best Buy.
Right.
I've been following and have the Twitter notifications on my phone dialed up for when hopefully people that watch this kind of stuff announce that they've gone on sale. They did go on sale in the UK. I actually did pre-order one from Amazon UK.
Oh, wow.
Because actually, their version is the Super... It's called the Super Nintendo
the Super
in Europe.
Famicom.
In Europe, it's still the Super Nintendo, but it's the Super Famicom shell and colors.
Right.
So I pre-ordered one from Amazon UK. It was basically £80, which I think is going to be, I don't know, over $100.
Right.
But it's 99 in Canada plus tax. It's already 100 and for us $112 or $113. So
yeah,
that's not too bad. And then I get the cool, different looking system, but that's my like backup plan. I still want to get the proper North American version.
Right.
I love this line. I have beaten every game that's in this system, except for obviously Star Fox 2. And I never played Kirby's Dream Course.
Okay.
But every other game here I have beaten when I was a little child.
So this is the thing. Like, so suddenly now I actually have a console that I would like to buy. And I'm just terrified that this thing is going to be harder to find than a Switch at launch. Like,
it's going to be hard if you don't get on the pre-order. If you get in on the pre-order when they go live, you're going to be fine.
And I think the pre-orders are going to be difficult to get in on because I think they're just going to sell out right away. You know, especially if they go live in the middle of the day when I'm at work, right? This is the problem.
This is one of those... Okay, I'm going to give you a tip. I'm going to give everyone a tip out there. Because I personally got, 4 NES Classics? One for myself, one for a coworker, one that I sold, and I don't know no, maybe I only got 3. And all it was I turned on Twitter notifications for Best Buy.
Yep.
So whenever it's a little annoying because whenever they tweet, you get a notification on your phone. But then there's that one time that they tweet saying pre-orders for blah blah goes live 10 a.m. today. So then at 10 o'clock you need to have your account signed in, your password entered, and then you just boom, click on the link, put it in your cart, checkout.
Right.
Every time. So if you do that, so I don't know, Amazon in Canada is terrible. Their pre-orders always go live in the middle of the fucking night. I don't know what Amazon's Twitter feed is like in the US. They might have, I think they actually have a game-centric Twitter feed. They might announce on there when it goes live. Some places announce it on their Facebook pages. So just check with the retailer that you want to purchase it from, and I'm sure they will announce ahead of time or like when they go live. And if you just, with little effort, you can, like, it's really easy. Like if you set up a Twitter notification, it's almost like you get a text. It's annoying when it's not for what you want, but when it does go live, you're there. Boom, click, click, click. Boom, you got one. And you could do that quite easily at work. For some people who aren't allowed to have cell phones or don't have internet at their work, well, you're just fucked.
Yeah.
But
it's hard because like,
it is hard.
There's
it
definitely
sucks.
days when that will work for me well, and I could easily, depending on the way my day is going, I could easily make that happen. But there's also days where like that's going to be virtually impossible.
No, you're really busy and you actually don't even look at your phone for 2 hours. And it's like, oh, well, they came and went.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of it is
or
time.
I'm on site somewhere and I can't exactly be like, Can you hold on a second? I'm gonna just take care of this thing over here for a few minutes. You know, like
a lot of it is
like
timing, which does kind of suck. And unfortunately, they don't announce like with a big window because they don't go, oh, they're going on tomorrow at this time, because then their site just crashes under the buckle to load.
Right.
So that's why they also kind of do it like
the same thing.
Yeah, that's why they kind of also do it randomly too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just hate it. I get pissed off when they fucking do it to East Coast time. Like 7 a.m. East Coast. Well, we're all fucking sleeping. Even people with kids are fucking sleeping 4 in the morning.
Right.
Most of us. So it's like, that's when I get really pissed off, when they do like, they open pre-orders like at a time that's convenient for East Coast. And it's like, well, so you just fucked everybody on the West Coast? Like, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass, obviously. They say there's going to be more, so who knows? Maybe Nintendo's like, oh, shit. Maybe they'll make 5 or 10 million of these, and they will make a lot of money because they're like, oh, yeah, we fucked up last time.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know, because this is actually one that I would like to get my hands on.
It's no surprise. We talked about this.
We saw it happening.
That it was rumored. I can't remember how many podcast episodes we talked about it. I do like the 2 controllers. They are also longer.
Oh, that's good. So they sort of learning from their original.
The controller cords. They're 5 feet long.
Okay,
still pretty short in my opinion, but
pretty short, but not terrible.
Better than that shit 3 feet that the NES Classic was. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, those are pretty tiny.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I will be picking up one of these.
Yeah, I'm going to try and pick up one of these. We'll see how it goes.
So anyway, hopefully if you follow my tips, you'll get one. Because, a lot of people didn't get the NES Classic. And it wasn't my fault, so don't get mad at me.
Fair enough.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered standalone release is out now.
I'm actually amazed that it took them this long.
Honestly, I am too. I don't know. They're like, nope, we're not going to do it. We're not going to. Oh, here we go. It's out.
I mean, I have it because I bought
we got the
collector's edition or whatever with
the ultimate whatever the fuck that came with it.
Yeah.
Because that was the only way you could get it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I felt like I knew they were still going to do this, but
it's on PlayStation now. And it's going to come separately on other platforms. They didn't announce a date. I imagine it's going to be that 30-day window, just like the DLC currently is with that platform.
Right.
Or that franchise on PlayStation. So, I think it was $40. So, one of the best Call of Duty campaigns. Now, if you didn't want to buy that Infinite Warfare, which was really good, you can get Modern Warfare.
Yeah. I feel like I might have actually no, maybe I don't have it installed. I'm not sure.
I never installed it. I have it, but I never installed it because I'm like, I remember it being really good when I played it before. It's like, I probably won't even know. In my mind, the visuals of the remaster is what the old one looks like, probably. You know how you always do that?
Yeah, games look way better in your mind.
When you look back on them, they look better, and then you go and play it. It's like, oh, yeah, this game didn't look as good as what I remember.
Yeah, you play GoldenEye now, and you're like, oh, man, I remember it looking so good. Doesn't look that good, though.
You put up this next story, so I'll let you talk about it.
Oh, the first Vampyr, or Vampire, I don't know.
I think it's just Vampire.
I think it is, too. So, Don't Nod Entertainment, they released the first gameplay demo of their new game called Vampyr, coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Why is that name ringing a bell? What do they do?
What was their last game? I'm honestly trying to remember, and it's not coming to me off the top of my head. The reason this looked cool to me was, like, the last time that somebody made an actual solid, dark, gothic style vampire game that wasn't just, I'm a cool vampire and I jump around and I don't know. The last like really cool sort of vampire action RPG was a long time ago. And this one, it looks like they're doing really well. It's set in the early 1900s in London. The whole city is in the middle of a horrible Spanish flu epidemic. So there's people dying and there's, it's a dark ass time in London. And you play a doctor who essentially gets turned into a vampire. And there's some serious, interesting things going on in the game, such as who you kill and who you feed on and things like that. They have fairly significant repercussions. So like you can change some stuff fairly significantly by, killing not necessarily the wrong person, but by killing certain people and things like that. And it's cool. It looks like kind of what, I don't know, if you've watched Penny Dreadful, this looks like it might be up your alley. How's that?
Penny Dreadful, the video game?
Penny Dreadful, the TV show. Not for the faint of heart. If you're not into dark and slightly twisted stuff, probably not for you. Awesome show. I love it. But my wife, not such a fan.
I'm watching the trailer for Vampire right now. It's third-person combat.
Yep, third-person combat.
Looks like he's got like detective vision. You can teleport and blink around the level.
Part of what's kind of interesting about it is that the character that you're playing is obviously a vampire, but he's sort of almost like a detective trying to figure out who is kind of murdering people, and you're, from what I can tell, almost like you're trying to chase down and follow and figure out sort of there's something sort of more going on that you're trying to get to the bottom of, which looks really cool. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it kind of hit an interesting nerve for me that I was looking at, and I think it just looks cool. It looks like it's something that's kind of right up my alley that they haven't done in a while. There hasn't been a game like this in quite a while, I feel like. And if these guys pull it off, which I'm hoping they are,
Life is Strange.
I think it could be really cool. Oh yes, the Life is Strange
and
developers.
Remember Me.
Oh okay. Oh yeah, Remember Me was interesting. So they're a French developer. Yeah. So it, like I said, it has the potential to be something really interesting.
It looks cool from the trailer you put up there. I'm like, oh, this wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah. No, it kind of wasn't on mine either. And then I happened to log into my media account for the Evolve guys, and it was sitting there, and I was like, damn, that actually looks really cool. So I kind of looked into it a little bit more, and I went,
I really like their website.
Yeah, those guys have like freaking nailed it as far as I wish way more press sites were like theirs, where I could log in and there was access to everything. There was
like follow games, all the features they have there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you can set up.
That's Tom's site.
I know.
He's doing pretty cool things there for PR.
Yeah, huge fan. Easily one of my favorite like PR sites for sure.
So this next story we can kind of skip because we already talked about it. Secret World is free to play now. We already talked about that.
Yeah, got a revamp, free to play. It's cool.
Dayne likes it.
If that's your thing, go check it out.
I linked the story with some gameplay for Bloodstained. And there's like little trickles of stuff still coming out of E3 after the fact. So I'm super excited for this game because I love the side-scrolling Castlevania games. It looks
really cool.
I didn't see this at E3, so I don't know if it was tucked away in someone's booth. I don't think it was. I think it must have been appointment only or in like a meeting rooms. Because I
heard a couple of people talking about it.
Yeah, because I didn't see it on the show floor. I don't. It must have been like in private demos.
I know it was at Judges Week.
Well, that's maybe all it was.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it anywhere. Anyway, they released a good 10 minutes of gameplay. That game's looking sweet. It's not the only thing that sucks is it's not expected until they said next year.
Yeah, it's
until
still quite a ways off.
This is the guy who did Castlevania Symphony of the Night, one of my classic all-time favorite side-scrolling Metroidvania games. So
yeah, there's some legacy there.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit worried just because obviously this was a Kickstarter originally, and obviously a few other Kickstarters that were very similar to this have
I'm not worried
really
on this
not
one.
been a good game. So I'm hoping that this is.
I think you're
not
thinking
gonna
of
be
like
one of
Mighty
those.
Number 9.
That's definitely one of the ones that I was thinking about. Yeah.
What else? Is there another one? I don't know. Anyway, another thing that came out of E3, they released the Uncharted Lost Legacy gameplay trailer that we got to see there.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think it was this in the pre-show or was it in the conference? It was in the conference, right?
Yep. It's during their
so
conference.
this
They
is
showed it off.
basically what they showed in the theater with the extra bits.
Oh, okay.
So if you wanted to get more,
Check that out.
yeah, that game looks awesome. That's coming out August 22nd. It's a full Uncharted campaign. Maybe not as long as, say, Uncharted 4, but I think they were saying like 12 hours. And it's only
Yeah, they were saying it's fairly long.
and it's only $40, and I think it includes all the Uncharted 4 multiplayer as well.
Yeah.
So not a bad deal. I'm definitely going to pick that up day one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a given for me.
There's
I
a
love
couple
those games.
things I didn't link here that I wanted to talk about. The first thing was at E3, and I forgot to mention it. They had Nyko was showing off a dock for the 3D or for the Switch.
Oh, I know exactly the one you're talking about. It's like a little one.
It's coming out in September.
Yep.
It's a portable dock for the Switch. It's like $45. It's got
I
a
don't know if
built-in
that's Canadian.
stand.
I'm sure that's American.
45
but-
American.
Yeah.
I don't think you can order it or pre-order it or anything yet because it's not due out until September. Here, I got a link to it here now. It is basically just a portable dock for the Switch. Includes a USB-C power adapter and an HDMI out. You can hook it up to your TV. It's not this big honking chunk of plastic. You can throw it in your suitcase or your backpack. So you can actually take your Switch to connect to a TV with you while you're on the road, which is nice because when we went to Hawaii, I actually packed my dock.
Right.
But it was kind of unnerving because you know how the dock is like a slot, right? And it's pretty big. I'm like,
Yep.
I don't want this to get crushed or bent. So I actually stuffed like
Stuff in between it to keep it from happening.
I stuffed diapers inside of it to keep it so there was like so it wouldn't close, so it couldn't fold. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It didn't get bent or anything, so that was okay. But it was not an ideal thing to travel with. It took up way much more space than it should have. You know, we did make use of it. Like we were playing Tetris on the hotel TV, which was
that's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But this seems like a way better solution because you could actually throw it in a backpack because it's tiny.
I think this is a solid solution just from the fact that, one, it's totally open. It's just a little...
Yeah, so
it's essentially like a little weighted area, and you can just plug your Switch directly into it.
there's none of that risk of scratching it either, what people were complaining of.
Yep. As well as it's way cheaper.
Yeah,
so
it's
if you
half
have
the
like a
price.
TV, if you have a TV in another room, freaking just plug it in. And, this is a great option
exactly
if you want to buy a couple more docks.
That's the main reason I want it, is to put in my living room. So, you know, I only have one dock. Yeah, I can unplug it, drag it all in the other room, but it's kind of cumbersome. It's not as easy as just plugging in an HDMI cable, right?
Exactly.
So this is a good
having
solution
that,
for another TV.
There you go.
Yeah, because Nintendo's asking a ridiculous... Like, this thing wouldn't exist if the dock they were selling was only like $40. But they're asking...
Straight up, man. Nintendo is asking
$90. They're asking $90 for their dock. That's $90
for all their Switch accessories.
That's American. It's like $100 and something Canadian. I just like roll my eyes.
It's like almost half the price of the entire freaking Switch.
Yeah. Anyway, I forgot to talk about that. That's one of those things with there's just so much shit going on. I tried stealing it. Obviously,
It clearly didn't work out.
No. What's the other thing I want to talk about? I have it open here somewhere. The Game Critic Awards. This is the judges from E3 and their awards for the games at E3.
That was
I put a
the
link
stuff from the Judges Week?
Yeah, from Judges Week. So basically, I think Jeff Keighley organizes this. 38 media outlets send their like editors and chiefs and so forth and yada, yada, yada. They get to see some games ahead of time or just what's on the show floor, and then they basically give out a bunch of awards. So they announce the winners. There's a link there if you want to click on it, but no surprise. As you can tell from my excitement from when I played it, Best of Show went to Super Mario Odyssey.
Not surprising.
That game was fucking awesome.
It seemed like a lot of people had a lot of nice things to say about that.
Pretty sure that game's going to be at PAX. I don't know how it couldn't be, but so we'll hopefully get our hands on it again. I wonder if it'll be the same demo. Hopefully it's something new, but it might just be the same demo. Who knows? Best original game, Mario Rabbids Battle Kingdom.
I also heard good things about that.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, we played it. I thought it was neat. I don't think it's for me, but it looks like a decent game. Best console game, enough. Mario Odyssey again. Best VR game, Lone Echo. I did not get to try this because Oculus wasn't on the show floor, so I don't even know where you could have played this game. So
maybe it wasn't. It probably wasn't. Maybe it was just a Judges Week thing.
Best PC game, Destiny 2. That's not surprising because, like I said, when I saw it running on PC, I was like, "Whoa, that looks amazing."
Mm-hmm.
Best handheld game, Metroid: Samus Returns. I did not get to see that. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the Nintendo Super Secret booth. Only Magic people got to play that game. Best hardware peripheral, Xbox One X. Yay.
Hardware peripheral? I mean,
hardware/peripheral.
Oh, okay. I was like super confused. I was like, it's kind of its own hardware.
I guess you automatically win. This is where we're going to get hated on. You automatically win when there's no other hardware announced this year.
Ooh, putting the smack down there.
Just kidding. The Xbox One X was awesome.
Let's be honest. Like from a pure hardware perspective, it's definitely a sweet piece of kit.
It's the best, most powerful console ever.
Yeah.
The one thing I did screw up at Microsoft, in their booth, you could, you know how they do that custom controller freaking program they have where you can customize the colors and the buttons and the this and that?
Yeah.
You could do that in their booth, and it was like a limited edition version, and it said
I saw those.
This was built at E3 2017 with like special colors and buttons that weren't available through the normal site. I saw someone on Twitter that I follow posting their photos.
Theirs off,
I'm like,
and you were jealous.
I'm like, man, why didn't I? Man, I should have made one, but at the same time, they're really expensive. I think they were $80 or $90 American.
Yeah, they're definitely not cheap.
It's not like it's not like it was the Elite controller. Man, I'd like to get an Elite controller, but they're so expensive. That's an awesome controller.
I do not use my Xbox One enough for an Elite controller.
Best action game, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Best action adventure game, Super Mario Odyssey again. Best role playing game, Ni no Kuni 2.
That does look really good.
I'm having a hard time thinking of any other freaking role playing games that I saw or played there. I didn't play Ni no Kuni. The lineup was huge. I just watched people playing it, and it looked great, obviously. Best racing game, Forza 7. Not surprising. I told you how I thought that game was awesome. That I, in fact, thought it
I'm
looked,
gonna be super curious.
That it looked better and played better than GT Sport. And
yeah, I'm going to be super curious as a, petrol head.
Yeah,
fall.
That's more your genre than mine.
Yeah, I'm super not sure how that's going to all go down in the fall. Like I love the Forza games and I love the Gran Turismo games. And
thing with that game is I wonder how different the Xbox One X version is going to be compared to the Xbox One version. Because clearly the version I saw on the show floor was Xbox One X, so it was like jaw-dropping. It was beautiful.
Well, for me, it doesn't really matter because I don't have a 4K TV, so either one would look exactly the same on my TV.
Even if you don't have 4K TV, remember, there'll be added effects and frame rate at 1080p.
Well, all Forza games already run at 60 FPS, so...
Okay, well, then there'll be extra lighting and effects and stuff.
The tires will be more round and
they'll be more
tiring, more wet.
Anyway, that game was awesome. It looked awesome, and I said that already. See, man.
Yeah.
See, I was right though. See, I said Mario. I was ranting about Destiny. I was ranting about. I said Forza 7 looked awesome. Best fighting game, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I also said that game was awesome. I didn't give it an award, but
that game looks great. I'm super curious.
We should
to see
start
what that
giving
game
awards
looks like.
out. We're gonna start. We'll start at PAX.
Sweet.
We'll do our rundown. We won't
That's
give any
a good idea.
prizes. We'll just make a list and say it on the show.
We can make a list and check it twice.
Best sports game, FIFA 18. That's not surprising. It's like the largest, biggest selling sports franchise, period. It's past Madden. I think it's eclipsed Madden because it sells worldwide.
Yeah.
Whereas
there's a lot of people that play that game a lot.
Madden only does well in the US, I think.
Well, no, Madden does well in a lot of places, but it definitely does better in the US.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously FIFA is huge
insane.
everywhere.
Best strategy game, Mario Rabbids. Again, they're in here. Best family game, Hidden Agenda. I didn't get to play this. It was in the Sony Europe. It was the one annoying thing. Did I talk about this?
No, I don't think you did. Yeah, you did.
I think I did mention it. Sony Europe had their own like Sony booth at E3. But
and if you weren't
only
from the European outlet?
Yeah, only European people, industry and media could go in it. And they were demoing some stuff that the US Sony booth was not.
That's a move that I would almost expect Nintendo to make.
This was one of the games that they were demoing. And this is... Sony has this... it was in their pre-show announcements before their like E3 briefing. It's called PlayLink. Basically, everyone links their cell phones up to the PS4.
Right.
And you play games that are a combination of you've got information on your cell phone and on the screen. And it almost sounded like Hidden Agenda was almost like a spy-esque version of Werewolf.
Okay.
You know, like the hidden agenda, like someone's a spy, someone's this and someone's that, and one of you has the hidden agenda, and you try and lie and point the blame on other people and this and that. So it's more like a party game that you play together with the mix of cell phones and the PS4. And there's a bunch of games coming out on this they call it PlayLink. I don't know if it's an app. I tried looking for an app on PlayStation called PlayLink because this is going to link to one of our news stories we're going to talk about in a bit here, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, best online multiplayer, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then best indie game was The Artful Escape.
Interesting.
Which looked really cool. But that was also... We actually went to... Jim wanted to see that game, and it was appointment only. So
gotcha.
It was in a meeting room. We tried going there, and it's like... I'm like, yeah, this doesn't look like they're letting people... letting people look at this.
We're not going to get a chance to see that.
That's it for news. Public service announcements. Oh, we already talked about... Did we talk about Steam Summer Sale is on now?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it happened after...
Steam Summer Sale, that's the thing
last
that
show?
is happening.
Yeah, this happened
It had started last week, or was starting last week.
Yeah, so that's on now until, I think, the 10th or 11th. And, of course, everyone's followed suit. PlayStation has their mid-year sale going on right now. And Xbox has their Ultimate Game Sale on, so... Everybody's going crazy on the sale madness train.
I
so
know.
pick your weapon.
Pick your poison. And
There's some insane sales going on at all the platforms. Like I said, Mordor, I think it's like $6 like everywhere. There's a lot of really good games. If you've missed something or it was on your radar, you might want to check out your local gaming online shop, and probably something that you've missed or has been on your radar is on sale right now. Mad.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, this list is humongous. Like,
oh, dude, it's so big. Like, there's so many lists in so many places right now.
I think if it hasn't been released in the last month, it's probably on sale.
Hell, even if it has been released in the last month, it may be on sale.
So up to 50%, and the Xbox Ultimate sale is the same thing. I think even up to 65% on some of the Xbox discounts.
Yeah.
And a lot of the games are on sale. If it's on sale on one platform, it's on sale on the other. So you can get it on your console of choice almost. So yeah, Steam sale, PlayStation sale, Xbox sale. Go check those out. It's a little bit of a lull now, so not a bad time to pick up some games on sale.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course...
Looks like we might actually have a bit of time to play them.
Yeah. PlayStation Plus announced their free games for July. So, Until Dawn for PS4, which I'm excited about. I wanted this game, so I'm super excited about it. It's a horror game. You play multiple characters. You see the story from different sides and try to get everyone through the events of this horrible night. I think it's a night alive.
I think you're right, yeah.
Because I think you can essentially... Because this was a big streaming game when it came out, because I think you can essentially get through potentially without losing anyone? I'm not sure. Or there's like someone who has to die, but you can... Depending on how bad you play it, you could... like lose everyone or just lose no one. I don't know. I don't know if you can quite do a zero death playthrough. I'm not that certain, but it looked really fun.
Yeah, it looks really interesting.
Man, so
I don't know if I'll play it.
It's supposed to be a good game.
Scary games. Yeah,
that's a good freebie. The other one, big PS4 one, was the Game of Thrones series as well. So 6 episodes, an easy platinum if you want to play through those. That's the one thing I like about the Telltale games. If you play through the whole series, you just get a platinum trophy. It's just basically play the game, you get a platinum. Or the series. Not the game, but you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Tokyo Jungle for PS3.
I'm actually really curious about that. That was one of those things that was kind of on my radar.
Yeah, it was on my radar.
Looked kind of interesting and funky. I might load that up and play it.
My PS3 is disconnected. Darkstalkers.
Well, that was dumb.
Darkstalkers Resurrection. Element 4i? I think that's what that is. That's PlayStation Vita. And
I love the Darkstalkers like fighting games.
Yeah, those are
that
cool.
Makes me super happy. I will load that onto my PS3 and play it.
Don't Die, Mr. Robot. PlayStation Vita, cross-buy on PS4.
I think that was already a freebie, I feel like. I think I already have that in my...
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
So now this is what I was talking about, that PlayLink thing. Additionally, from July 4th to October 24th, all PlayStation Plus members can get That's You in celebration of PlayLink's launch. So it's a game called That's You. I have no idea what that fucking game is. So I tried looking into it, and you'd think the story for PlayLink would link you to a Google Play Store or how to do this.
Right.
Like, PlayLink combines your smartphone or tablet device, TV, and PS4 console. But it's like, okay, do I need a PlayLink app, or is it just the PlayStation app? Or does the game that I download tell me?
Right. Okay.
So I tried reading this story to figure it out. And it's like, I couldn't find, there's no information. It doesn't say where, if it's an app, do you just launch the game on your PS4 and then it tells you what to do on your phone? Like, okay, cool. Right. So this PlayLink platform is a platform that uses cell phones and PS4 games together to create like a new range of family/party games. Anyway, I just think it's just...
Is this... Wait, hold on. Is this kind of the idea where you put it on the TV and then people probably, like you said, download an app.
Yeah,
and then use it to. So you could do something like, for example, friends and I have played a variation of Cards Against Humanity on Chromecast before.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you look at this trailer, it shows the people sitting looking at their cell phones, and there's a game playing on the PS4.
Right.
But I'm just missing. It says exclusive to PS4 if you wait till the end of the trailer. And it has a cool icon or logo, but it doesn't say Google Play or this. Like, okay, so where do I get this Play link? Like, your phone just doesn't link automatically with the PS. I don't know. These stories are kind of dumb. They're missing some information. So,
well, that's annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying. Like, okay, you're talking about this new platform and a bunch of games, but it's like exclusive to PS4. It uses your phones. Okay, now how do I play it? Do I just download the game and it's prompted from there? Or should there be, are you missing a Google Play / iOS like download icons in the story? Anyway,
I don't know.
A little annoyance. It just was annoying, especially with them giving a game away for free. I will try and figure that out and maybe get back to everyone on that. But yeah, stupid. July's Xbox Games for Gold were also announced. We've got, for Xbox One, Grow Up. The sequel to, what's the first one?
Grow Home?
Is that what it is? Sounds right.
See.
With a little robot Ubisoft
That's
game.
the robot one where you climb up into the sky.
Yeah, so this is the sequel, I believe. And Runbow. No fucking idea what that is.
Runbow? Okay.
And then through Xbox 360, you've got Kane and Lynch 2 and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, which are also Xbox One back compatible.
Wow, Kane and Lynch 2. That's bringing back some old school memories there.
Runbow. I'm looking, there's a trailer that's linked in the story. Rumbo looks like one of these ridiculously difficult side-scrolling. No, it looks like a battle arena game. Multiplayer.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like you're beating each other up, running to the right, and or there's like single stage screens where it's like just multiplayer chaos.
Fun.
There's a trailer of all the games on the story, which is kind of nice. I didn't even know they made a Lego Pirates.
A Lego Pirate of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't know that either, actually. This does not sound familiar to me.
It's 360. It came out a long time ago. Snuck under the radar. So yeah, those are your July freebies for Xbox and PlayStation.
Sweet.
That's it for public service announcements.
Yeah.
So we can get into our free-for-all section. I watched Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah.
I was taken to it for Father's Day.
Oh, nice.
So I got to see it for free. Yay! Even though it was late because when I got back from E3, I was tired and didn't want to go anywhere on actual Father's Day. So, what was I going to say? It was good. Was it amazing? No.
Really?
I just thought it was good. I think it might have been. I think it might have been a little overhyped. I had problems with the story.
Interesting.
I liked the first half / 3/4, and then I feel like the tail end of the movie was just missing big chunks. I felt like they kind of hit the skip button on some of the plot. Like it was like, okay, going. Okay, bad guy. Like, there was like no build up. It seemed like it was missing a chunk of the movie. Got like the DVD player skipped and we missed a chapter or two in between some scenes. I just thought it was kind of weird.
Interesting.
It's like the development or the movement from one scene to another, I feel was too quick, and that there was no development. It was just like, I don't know. It was weird.
I don't know.
I don't think it was bad.
I
I don't think it was bad. I just thought it was weird. I feel like this movie could be longer. I don't feel like they developed the justification of the action between some of the scenes in the end there.
Right.
It's like they just... I don't know. I don't really want to spoil anything, so I don't want to get into too details. But maybe if we come back to it and talk about it in a spoiler cast, I can explain myself a little better. But I thought it was good. It was good. Like, she was awesome.
She was incredible.
She was great. Like, I thought it was cool. Obviously, it is... Man, it is... It's not like, oh my god, like, reinventing the comic book movie wheel. It is leaps and bounds better than some of the DC
Suicide
movies
Squad?
up until this point. Oh, Suicide Squad was steam pile shit. This was a good movie. I will watch it again.
I would say that this is the first DC movie that's at least on par with the Marvel movies.
Yeah, with a good Marvel movie. Not an awesome Marvel movie, but a good... It stands on its own. It's not a... Some of the other DC movies are just kind of cringy. I don't know. They're not too... Like, Suicide Squad was a piece of shit. The other ones are all okay, but I have no desire to go back and watch them again. This one I would watch again. The only thing I don't like about this movie, and it's not this movie, it's more all these comic book movies, I'm getting really annoyed with the ridiculously over-the-top CG final boss battles is essentially what they all escalate to.
Right.
I just feel like they're just getting too out of hand with how unrealistic they are. They just aren't even... They don't seem to be grounded in reality at all. They're just so over the top, and I don't know, maybe it's just because
we are talking about the daughter of a god.
This is...
And,
yeah.
like, I mean, we are kind of...
It's true, but
it is as kind of ridiculous as you can get.
Maybe it's just DC's special effects aren't as good as everyone else's. I just feel like they look more... doesn't look as good. Because essentially Guardians 2 was pretty crazy end battle. But for whatever reason, I feel like it looked better.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
I mean, it was a lot. I feel like it was a lot more out there.
I didn't watch
than
it.
This was, that's for sure. But
I didn't watch this in 3D either. So
okay.
I watched it in normal vision for normal people with normal eyes.
I watched it in 3D, which I love, but some people hate. So
no, I don't hate 3D, but
yeah, no, that's interesting. I personally loved it. I thought it was a great film. Definitely in my top like superhero movies, in all honesty. Like, I thought it was really well done. I thought she was incredible. I thought I don't disagree that the story had some... It had a few issues, and it could definitely use a little bit of help. But I don't think that... I mean, I think any of the superhero movies are not unlike that. But no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It will definitely be... I will pick this up when it comes out on Blu-ray for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't mean to disparage it. I just didn't think it was awesome.
To be fair, it could also be one of those things where so many people built it up to you
it might
so
have been
much that it couldn't have... No matter how good it was, it might not have been able to live up to that hype, right?
Yeah, it might have been a little overhyped by the time, it's been out for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that might have been part of the problem as well.
Yeah, I've been there before. That's definitely like you're expecting so much, and then hard to say. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, for me, definitely in the top few percent of as far as superhero movies go, I really liked it.
I really want to go watch Baby Driver, and then I guess Spider-Man comes out next week. Those are the next ones on my radar.
Yeah, I do really want to see Spider-Man. That looks awesome.
I see you wrote down something. You watched Power Rangers?
Yeah, we checked out the new Power Rangers remake or reboot or whatever you want to call it.
I'm assuming video on demand.
Yeah, we did. I didn't mind it.
It looks okay.
I think anything like that is hard, because I think that when you're younger and you watch the original Power Rangers TV show and movie, they're so corny and they're so campy, if you will, that to try and modernize that and not have that kind of ridiculous campy feel like that, I think is difficult. I think it really is. I don't know. I think, and maybe again, I mean, maybe this is one of those situations where I was expecting the movie to be terrible. Like I guess it was one of those movies where I hadn't heard a lot about it. Like, it kind of came out and it sort of came and went.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'd heard some people saw it and said it was fine, and some people saw it and hated it, and some people saw it and thought it was great. So it really seemed to be, a lot of people seemed to be kind of all over the map with it. I watched it. I kept an open mind. I enjoyed it. It was a popcorn movie. Like, again, like there was a few times during it where the performances were maybe not awesome. There was a couple moments that were a little bit cringeworthy where, a certain actor or whatever in a scene, you're kind of like, oh, that was a little bit rough. Like, I get what you're trying to do there, and it worked, but at the same time, like, you were really acting. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel super fluid.
They're all relatively unknown actors, right?
Yeah, they are. I don't think many of the people that were involved in that, especially I don't know if any of them were really known essentially before this. That being said, a friend of mine actually happened to be in this, and I didn't even realize it. So that was kind of a fun surprise. My friend Patrick, who I worked on a show with before, as one of our stunt guys, stunt coordinators, and stuff. He happened to be he played the dad of one of the characters. So that was pretty cool. We were watching a scene and holy shit, that's Patrick. That's cool. It wasn't a long scene.
It was recorded in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, it was filmed.
Scenes of it were.
Most of it was filmed around here. Which is super cool. I love, supporting local films and stuff. It was a Lionsgate film, so, but yeah, no, so that was cool. I don't know. I hope I see a sequel, to be honest with you. They did a lot of things right, I felt, and I think that, if they were to do another movie with the same people, I feel like it would probably be better the second time, just because you've got, at least from an acting perspective, for the people that were involved. And no, I don't know. I feel like I expected to not like it very much, and I definitely ended up watching it and I enjoyed it. And again, if you go into this expecting it to be, The Dark Knight, then you're going to be nothing but disappointed. It's not that. There's a bit of that campiness. There's a bit of that ridiculousness involved, just like there was back in the day. But at the same time, I felt like they did a really good job with modernizing it and making it definitely look a lot better and not nearly as campy and kind of ridiculous as, the original and stuff are.
Yeah. They're pretty ridiculous. Well, they're for kids, so.
Yeah, exactly, right? And like, this is, still not crazy blood and gore and everything, but it definitely, there's a few more mature sort of themes, and there's definitely some stuff that, is not for 12-year-olds, you know what I mean? Like, so, no, I liked it. I enjoyed it, and I hope we see a sequel, because I think that it has the potential to be better if they make another one.
How well it did. I don't think it may have performed to expectations.
There's rumors that we might see a sequel.
Oh yeah, really? Okay, well then it must have made somebody.
I don't know.
I'm sure if it made more than $1, they're going to make another one.
I think it did pretty good overseas. I don't know how well it did locally, like as far as domestically, but I feel like it did pretty well overseas. I know initially when they announced this, they had said something along the lines of, we have like 5 movies or something like that in the pipeline that we're ready to rock and roll. It was like, I think part of the problem is like it was so expensive to make. Like I think it cost them like somewhere in the realm of $100 million to make.
I don't think you can make a movie for less than $100 million.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
Even if there's like just two guys on a couch, $100 million.
Deadpool was made with $40 million.
Okay, well, obviously I'm exaggerating.
Or 60. It was 40 or 60 million.
They're filming Deadpool 2, by the way, right now.
Yeah, they are.
As we speak. Go find Ryan Reynolds. It's probably like outside your house.
Probably.
Jerking it in his
He's
Deadpool.
He's creepy like that.
Jerking it in his Deadpool makeup.
Yeah. So apparently, I'm just looking at it right now. So apparently it grossed about 140 million worldwide against the production budget of $100 million.
So it made $40 million? Well, no, that doesn't count marketing and shit. So
that doesn't count marketing. But you got to remember, though, it freaking came out like a week before Beauty and the Beast, though.
I saw it.
Which is brutal.
I saw it on my on-demand, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to watch it out of curiosity.
I say go for it.
I saw Beauty and the Beast. Did I talk about that? I think I did.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast was great.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
No, I don't know. I feel like it's worth a watch. Especially if you were a fan of the original at all. I think it's worth a watch. I do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that they kept enough of that silliness from the original, but they also modernized it enough that it was cool. I don't know. And I didn't feel like I was a 6-year-old watching a movie that was made for a 6-year-old. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because some movies do that, right? Like they try to kind of
they made
forget.
it so you could watch it as an adult. It was like,
yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You were like, this is a kid's show. Blatantly, it's silly.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw Life.
I heard good things about that. My boss saw that and was saying was really well done and pretty scary.
It's a space horror movie.
Yeah, he likened it to the original Alien.
What is it? Ryan Reynolds. What the fuck's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal. Was it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Really? Was he in that?
I think so.
He could have been. I don't know.
Pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Life. Here we are. Science fiction thriller.
Yeah, it looked freaky. They're on like a space station and they come across like an alien.
Yeah, so basically, the plot of the movie, it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Sweet.
But he's like not super buff. He's like skinny, weird kind of dude.
So skinny,
basically,
weird Jake Gyllenhaal.
They're on the International Space Station. There's a satellite probe coming back from Mars.
Right.
That they basically collect and are getting the soil samples from Mars. So it just basically the scientist dude is like looking at the samples and he's like, oh, there's like it looks like to be a celled organism here, and basically he essentially raises it from the dead, giving it oxygen and a bunch of stuff.
Seems like a dumb idea.
It's a single cell organism. It's like in a frozen state. It's been traveling through space. It's been on Mars. There's no air. It's basically hibernating. So guess what? This thing starts multiplying and growing and, getting bigger and bigger. And turns out it likes oxygen. And
no kidding.
And like water as well. And basically needs a lot of the stuff that humans need to survive. Well, little harmless little thing becomes big, very harmful thing. And basically they're trying to kill it, and it is proving very difficult. And hilarity ensues. And by like hilarity, I mean terrible, terrible bad things. Right. And it's like, God, fuck, space sucks when shit goes sideways because you can't just leave space.
Yep.
you just can't.
Pretty much fucked.
You can't pull the chute. You're just like fucked. And it basically turns into a mission of let's just make sure this freaking thing doesn't get to Earth. And yeah, lots of people die. Actually, I think everybody dies. It's kind of I don't know if it was really a scary creature. Well, it was kind of scary because the way it moved, and literally it seemed like everyone was so defenseless versus this thing. Like you were just fucked. It was
kind of like Alien.
It was a very uncomfortable movie. It sucked.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't suck. It just, if you were those people in that situation, that was a fucking shitty place to be.
Right.
I'd be like, nope, not having none of it. I'm just going to take the escape pod. Well, do you guys just deal with that? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just
I'm a GTFO.
It's one of those movies where it's just nothing goes right, and it just is going to hell in a handbasket, and it's so anxiety. Like, I was just like,
inducing.
Yeah, you're just like, come on, give these people a fucking break.
Is it one of those movies where like a bunch of people make really dumb decisions, and you're just like, what are you doing? Nobody would do that. Because those are the ones that I have a hard time with, where like there's a bunch of stuff. Like if you watch some of these films and you're like, hey, let's go do that. Like, that seems like a good idea.
That is the dumb decision, and that's what causes the whole thing to go sideways.
Right.
Had they not done this one thing, they probably all would have been fine. So obviously, spoiler alert, the scientist's actions at a certain point in the movie basically is what couldn't leave good enough alone.
Right.
Had he not done the one thing they did, probably they would have been okay. And
gotta get in there. And
anyway, it was decent. I don't want to. I have feelings, but then they would be spoilerish because they have to do with the ending.
Right.
Again, it's you don't want to ruin anything for people, so it's kind of hard to get too critical on stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are just going to want to tune out because you're not going to want to hear what I have to say. Because if you want to watch a movie, it's going to ruin it for you. So,
and we don't want to do that.
I'll keep it to myself. I enjoyed the movie overall.
Fantastic.
If you want to know what I didn't like about it, hit me up on Twitter, and I will tell you.
Sounds like a plan.
You can follow me on Twitter. Since I don't know, I'm gonna say we're done here, so I may as well get into our little outro. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
You can come bug me on Twitter at Dayne Cody at DAYNECODY.
Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. It's Geekoholics everywhere. A couple of you have done iTunes reviews. I appreciate that very much. If more of you, couple dozen of you, couple hundred people that listen to the show, more than a couple hundred people, if we could just get a dozen of you to give us some iTunes reviews, that would be awesome. Because that definitely helps the show grow and lets people find us easier. I know what you're saying, Android people. iTunes sucks, but unfortunately, the realistic landscape out there is that 70% of podcasting audiences come from iTunes. So, yeah.
But hey, if you listen to us on Google Play, feel free to give us 5 stars.
Do they have ratings on Google Play?
I don't know, but if they do, feel free.
I have no idea. See, I don't think they do. I have no idea.
I use like a podcast app, and it uses RSS feeds to get all my podcasts.
Yeah, but RSS feeds don't have ratings, so it's just a link.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Oh, well. Anyway, rate and review if you can, wherever you can. Tell your friends about it. Continue listening. We appreciate it. We love you for being here. Thank you very much. Until next week, I'm going to say we are out. Oh, everyone have a good long weekend. Happy Canada Day. Happy 4th of July for American friends.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They get a super long weekend because I imagine you get Monday off and the Tuesday. Or if you didn't take the Monday off, you're a dummy because you could have had 4 days off.
Well, I know I took the Tuesday off, so.
Yeah, I have the Monday. I have a long weekend and have the Monday off. Yeah, because your wife has Tuesday off, right?
Yeah, I took the Monday as well, so I get I get Monday, but then I took the Tuesday because in Canada we get Monday off.
Yeah. We don't celebrate July 4th.
That's what you get being married to an American.
Yeah. Until next week, we are out.
See you next week.
Peace.